Hi, I'm Auntie Dawn. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making brown rice in the rice cooker. I like brown rice better than white. It has more flavor and more texture, and I can tell myself it's healthier even though the actual nutritional differences are pretty small. White rice is traditional in tropical rice eating areas for a very practical reason. It keeps longer. Leaving the germ on the rice grain causes it to go bad faster, especially if it's in a warm, humid area. Brown rice can go rancid quickly when it's warm, so if you do buy brown rice, make sure you keep it in a cool, dark place. Brown rice takes longer to cook. White rice steams in about 20 minutes, while brown rice takes about an hour. Pre-soaking can help. If you soak brown rice for about 23 hours, I find it cooks in a traditional rice cooker in about 20 to 30 minutes. And just as I discovered that, I found a better rice cooker. There are probably more sophisticated models these days, but I've got an old school Zojirushi, and it cooks perfect brown rice in about 50 minutes. The perfect water level can change a bit depending on the bag of rice. With the bag I bought right at the start of the pandemic, I had to have the water level just under the 3-go mark. But the bag I bought afterwards, that has to be just like a millimeter above the 3-go line. Depending on how thoroughly you like your grains of rice burst, you may want to either pounce on that pot of rice just as soon as it chimes done, or like with my new bag of rice, I've got to let it sit and steam for about 5 minutes once the cooking cycle is done. Experiment and find out what works for you, and then write it down so you don't need to be guessing next time. Because of that difference in cooking times, I find it's a good idea to just make a batch of rice all from one bag of rice. If you've got just a little bit left over, it's a better thing to use it to thicken a soup or some other use, because otherwise you can end up with a pot of rice that is mostly cooked perfectly, but with a few crunchy or overcooked grains in it. So here's my 3-go of rice. Now take the rice to the sink and wash it well. If you start to wash it and the water runs clear, you can skip this step. Cover with water. And now agitate with your hand until the water starts to get cloudy. At this point, anything like grains of rice that still have the husk attached, and any little bits should come off. Now you're going to want to repeat this until the water runs clear. While you're washing, you should also discover if there's anything like little stones in the rice, and you'll want to remove those as well. For my rice, it takes about 3 rinses for the water to come clear. Next, cover with water to the indicated level. You want to put it on a flat surface so you get a clear reading. My next step is to dry the bottom of the pot. It takes a lot of energy to evaporate water, and that can mess up the cooker settings. Also, you don't necessarily want steam with those electronics. All right, once it's good and dry, I can place it in the rice cooker. Now I can close the lid. It's plugged in, so now I can choose my setting, which is semi-brown, and hit start. I usually cook outside, that way all of that steam and starch can stay out of my kitchen. Now the rice is done cooking, so I'm going to open it up and remove the pot from the cooker, and I'm going to stir it thoroughly, getting right down into the bottom. You want to break up any rice that's caked down at the bottom of it, because otherwise that will tend to get soggy. And if your rice is going to have to sit for a bit before you're ready to serve your meal, then it's a good idea to give it a stir every few minutes. The last step is to clean your rice cooker. Now, I think it's a good idea to get a clean cloth and put it underneath the inner lid before you remove it. That keeps any of that gooey rice water from soaking into the cooking element down below. So use it to wipe out any of that gooey, oily cooking residue water. And then once you get all of the parts cleaned, make sure you reassemble it and get it good and dry before you then put it away so it's ready for your next cooking project. I hope you enjoy this rice as much as I do. See you next time.